Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is August 15th. The Padres are first in the West. The Mets are Metsing the Brewers, winning 12 now. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? We are midway through August, heading into September in just a couple of weeks. About 40 games still left on the calendar. We're just over 75% through the season, and the division races, man, they are looking very interesting here. We'll be talking about all of that and more coming up, but first, let's dive on into our series recap. The Cubs in Toronto taking on the Blue Jays. Ernie Clement, a clutch 3-run home run. Varsho, a solo shot. The Blue Jays take a 5-1 victory. The Cubs get a bounce back, though. Michael Busch, Matt Shaw, they both go deep in a 4-1 Cubs win. And in the rubber match, Michael Busch, a solo home run for the Cubs. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., a 2-run shot for the Blue Jays. Those 2 home runs are the only runs in this one. Blue Jays take a 2-1 victory and take 2 of 3 from Chicago. Mariners and Oilers now. Josh Naylor gets an RBI single in the first. That's the only run in this game. 1-0 Seattle. But here comes Baltimore. Ryan Mountcastle, a homer in Game 2. And Jackson Holliday finally gives the Oilers their first walk-off win of the season. An RBI double gets Baltimore to celebrate 4-3 the final. And then in Game 3, they score 5 runs in 2 innings. Baltimore takes 2 of 3 from Seattle in that last game, 5-3. Twins and Yankees in a series, which means you know the Yankees win the series. Bellinger, Stanton, Rice, Jazz, they all homer in Game 1. A 6-2 win for New York. And in Game 2, Volpe homers, Stanton homers again, and Aaron Judge goes deep. It's a 9-1 Yankees win. Bellinger homers in the third game, but the Twins rally 3 runs in the 6th to take a 4-1 victory. Yankees, though, take 2 of 3. Marlins and Guardians now. Jose Ramirez gets a 2-homer game. His second gave them the lead late. 4-3 win. Manzardo also homers in this one. Here come the Marlins, though, in Game 2. Xavier Edwards goes deep. Graham Pauley goes deep. And how about Jacob Marcy? He's having quite the start to his big league career. He gets his first career multi-homer game, a 2-homer game for his second and third homers of his career. Learn the name Jacob Marcy because right now he is on fire. 13 for Marlins. And in the rubber match, the Guardians would come back to score 6 unanswered for the lead, for the win, and for the series. 9 for the final there. Cleveland taking the series. Nationals and Royals now. Salvador Perez, Kyle Isbell, they both go deep in the opener. A 7-4 Royals win. Then it's Vinny Pasquantino going deep in Game 2 alongside Jonathan India. The Pasquatch had 5 RBIs in this one, helping the Royals to an 8-5 victory. And in the final game, Nathaniel Lowe hits a grand slam, his 16th homer of the year for the Nats. CJ Abrams goes deep as well, his 16th also. 8-7 Nats, they avoid the sweep from the Royals. Tigers and White Sox, it's the top of the 9th, and it's Spencer Torkelson hitting a clutch solo shot homer. That gives the Tigers the lead. They hold on 2-1 the final. But in Game 2, the White Sox would score 5 in the 5th. Edgar Quiero with a home run as the White Sox take a 9-6 victory. And in the rubber match, Wencel Perez, a sac fly. That's the only run in this game. 1-0 Detroit. The Tigers taking 2 of 3 from the White Sox. Dodgers and Angels, Battle of LA in the Angels home stadium this time around. Zach Neto gets a 2-homer game to open up this series with a 7-4 Angels win. In Game 2, Shohei hits a go-ahead home run in the 9th. It didn't matter, though. The Angels would tie it on a sac fly. We head to extras, and the Angels walk it off in the 10th. Joe Adell, the RBI single, 7-6 Halos. And in the final game, Taylor Ward goes deep. Logan O'Hoppe, go-ahead 2-run single in the 8th, gives the Angels the lead as they get another comeback win. They sweep the Dodgers for the second time this season, and it's the first time ever that the Angels have 6 wins against the Dodgers in a season. 6-5 Halos, they sweep. Things are fun for the Angels right now. D-backs and Rangers played a very good and intense series. This was kind of what you were hoping for from the World Series back in 2023. Locklear, Carroll, Perdomo, Blaze, Alexander, they all go deep for their Diamondbacks. But here come the Rangers. They come back from 6-1. Langford, a big clutch home run. Right to Les tied it in the 9th with his home run. And in the 10th, it's Jake Berger, the walk-off single. Texas comes back from down 5 to win it 7-6. In Game 2, Blaze Alexander, he hits another home run. And then Ketel Marte tied up at 2. He hits a solo shot to break the tie in the 9th. His home run gives the D-backs the win, 3-2 the final. And in the last game, Perdomo would go deep. Diamondbacks would find themselves down 3 entering the 9th. James McCann, a solo shot home run, brings him down 2. And then it's Ketel Marte with 2 runners on and 2 outs. He does it again. A 3-run home run turns a 4-3 Rangers win into a 6-4 Diamondbacks win as they take 2 of 3 from Texas. Marte, a big series against the Rangers. Red Sox and Astros now. Chas McCormick gets his first home run of the season, while Ramon Urias gets his first home run as an Astro. As Bregman and Anthony go deep for the Red Sox, the Astros hold on 7-6, the final. Bregman's return to Houston. Forgot to mention that as well. 7-6 Astros in Game 1. In Game 2, Carlos Nevares, he goes deep. Alex Bregman goes deep again, as well as Roman Anthony. Both of them homering in the first 2 games of this series. It's a Red Sox dismantle. They score 14 unanswered in a 14-1 Red Sox win. And in the rub match, it's Jeremy Pena, it's Yanyer Diaz, it's 4-1 Astros. They take 2 of 3 from the Red Sox. Rays and A's now. Christopher Morel, Brandon Lowe, and Junior Caminero, they all go deep. It's a 7-4 Rays win. In Game 2, Lawrence Butler, Colby Thomas, they get 2 RBIs each, part of a 6-0 A's win. And for the red match, it's Brandon Lowe and Junior Caminero again, both of them going deep. This week alone, that's 4 games where both Brandon Lowe and Junior Caminero have homered in the same game. 2 against the A's just now, 2 last week against the Mariners as well. The Rays take 2 of 3 from the A's with an 8-2 victory in the road match. Braves and Mets. The Mets needed this series, had a big Game 1. Francisco Alvarez, a 2-homer game. Nimmo goes deep. Brett Beatty goes deep. And Pete Alonso, he gets a 2-homer game and is now the Mets' all-time franchise leader in home runs. It is 253rd and 54th homer as a Met and as a career. Part of a 13-5 Mets win, but the Braves come back in Game 2. They come back big time in Game 2 as they were down 6 and scored 9 runs in the 4th. Michael Harris, a grand slam. Marcelo Zuna goes deep in this one, 11-6 Atlanta. And in the rub match, it's Ozzie Albies with a big day at the plate. He gets an RBI single, he gets a solo shot homer, and then the go-ahead double in the 8th. A 3 RBI day for Albies, and the reason why the Braves win this one 4-3 and take 2 of 3 from the Mets. Yikes. Phillies and Reds. Kyle Schwarber hitting his 42nd home run of the season helps the Phillies to a 4-1 victory. But then how about Miguel Andujar hitting his 8th homer of this season to help the Reds win it 6-1, and then putting the nail in the coffin in Game 3 as he hits a grand slam, part of an 8-0 win. The Reds taking 2 of 3 from the Phillies. They're hot, guys. Watch out for Cincy. Pirates and Brewers. The Brewers on a 9-game winning streak, and they are feeling themselves. Bryce Terang, Christian Yelich, they both go deep. It's 7-1. Oh no, it's Paul Skeens for the Pirates. Paul Skeens who, says Sal Frelick as he hits a leadoff home run. Bryce Terang and Yelich both go deep again. They're joined by Andrew Vaughn and Caleb Durbin. If you told me Paul Skeens would start a game and the Pirates would lose 14-0, I wouldn't believe you, but that's the reality. 14-0 Milwaukee. And in the final game, Brian Reynolds hits a 2-homer game for the Pirates, but it doesn't matter because the Brewers scored 4 multi-run innings. They had 4 multi-run innings. 12-5 Brewers. The win streak is up to 12, and the Brewers are unstoppable right now. Rockies and Cardinals now. We move on. Brendan Donovan, a clutch go-ahead 2-run double in the 8th, gets the Cardinals a 3-2 victory. Hunter Goodman hits a 2-run homer in Game 2, part of a 3-0 Rockies win. And in the road match, the Cardinals were on top early. Lars Nootbaar, Alec Burleson both going deep. But the Rockies started a little bit of a comeback. Mickey Moniak a home run. And then in the 9th, down 1, Hunter Goodman goes deep again. Another 2-run shot. That gets them the lead. The go-ahead homer in the 9th. 6-5 Colorado. The Rockies taking 2 of 3 from the Cardinals. Which brings us to the last series, Padres and Giants. Freddie Freeman hits his first home run as a Padre for some big insurance runs late for a 4-1 Padres victory. Then Jose Iglesias hits his first home run of the season off of Robbie Ray. Jackson Merrill goes deep as well. 5-1 Padres. And in the final game, the Padres score 7 runs in the second. Ramon Laureano, a 17th homer of the season. The Padres win it 11-1. They outscore the Giants 20-3 in the series, and that's your series recap. Game of the week time, and Arizona and Texas played 3 really fun and eventful games, but I'm bringing you to game 1. Tyler Locklear, his second homer of the season in the top of the second, 1-0 Arizona. Top third, the Diamondbacks add on Corbin Carroll, a 2-run shot, his 26th homer of the season. Geraldo Perdomo is right behind him with a 2-run shot, his 12th of the season. Diamondbacks add 4, it's 5-0. Bottom of the third, Texas gets on the board. Corey Seager, an RBI double, makes it 5-1. Then top of the 6th, Blaze Alexander. He's been hot since getting recalled back up. His 3rd homer of the season puts Arizona up 6-1. They are in control, but in the bottom of the 6th, here comes Texas. Corey Seager, an RBI single, and then Wyatt Langford, a 3-run bomb. The Rangers answer back with a 4-run inning of their own. It's 6-5, but Arizona still in the lead, looking for the save, but cannot find it. Rowdy Tellez crushes the game-tying homer in the bottom of the 9th, his 13th on the year. We are tied at 6. We go to extras, and in the bottom of the 10th, it's Jake Berger. An RBI single gets Texas the comeback win from down 5. What a game for Texas. They win it 7-6 in the 10th inning, and unfortunately lost the next 2 games. Ketel Marte, 2 homers in the 9th to give the Diamondbacks the lead both times. I mean, just great games all the way around for your game of the week here. Let's get into the baseball news, and we got to talk about, of course, the Milwaukee Brewers, because they are doing things that are very impressive this season. They have a 12-game winning streak currently. It's the second time this season that they've had a 10-game plus winning streak. They had an 11-game winning streak earlier in the year, and now it's up to 12, and they're just on an absolute roll. And I mean, you look at the division lead, the Cubs, for the longest time, for the first half of the season really, they were the team to beat in the NL Central. They were the team to beat in the NL as a whole. And they're still a very good team. They're 68-52. Like, you know how good that is as a whole? Like, that's a good baseball team. When you go and look at MLB as a whole, the Cubs are the 6th best team in baseball. So explain to me how the Cubs are 8 games back of the Brewers. The Blue Jays and Tigers are the best teams in the AL. They have a half a game difference between them. The Blue Jays are 71-51, while the Tigers are 71-52. They're 6 games back of the Brewers, who are 76-44, the only team that does not have 50 losses yet. And they're 4 wins away from 80. They're going to get to 80 wins before they get to 50 losses. The Brewers are at a historic pace right now in terms of their franchise. Their run differential, the best in baseball, plus 159. I mean, they are hitting their marks. and they're 37-21 against teams above 500. That's second behind the Blue Jays. They're 42-20 at home. That's the best in baseball. They are really have been impressive. They're 34-24 on the road. Guess what? That's the best in baseball also. They are the best in baseball. So what is the hesitation with the Milwaukee Brewers? And I will tell you straight up, from history, from what I know about baseball and just certain teams, the Brewers have always been like this. The last couple of years at least, it's been the same song and dance for Milwaukee. They have a team. They have a great regular season run. They have a late end of season push. And then it just collapsed in the postseason. We saw it last year with the Mets. We've seen it time in and time out with Milwaukee. And you're starting to know some of these guys. They have some fun names. But at the same time, too, it's still lacking the wow factor that some of these, World Series championship teams go on to have. And I mean, for me, that's the big kicker for, that separates things. Obviously, the William Contreras, the Christian Yelich's, the Jackson Churios. You start to learn some of the new guys who have popped up this year. Isaac Collins having a fantastic year. They traded for Andrew Vaughn early in the year. He's been fantastic for them. Bryce Terang's been huge. Caleb Durbin, Joey Ortiz, these guys I keep end up saying in the series recaps. The pitching has been surprisingly solid. They get rid of Devin Williams. Somebody else just comes in. Trevor McGill has been a phenomenal closer back there for the Brewers. DL Hall's been great out of the bullpen. Shelby Miller's been solid. You look at the rotation. Woodruff being back and healthy's been huge. Freddie Peralta leads the league in wins. Jose Quintana's been solid. Abner Uribe's been great out of the bullpen. It's a bunch of names and a bunch of guys, and the team feels good. And every year I kind of want to say it feels different than the last year. But again, until I see them in the league championship series, it's hard for me to kind of back this Brewers team that's right now 6 games ahead of the next best team in baseball. The Brewers are incredible. 2 10-game plus winning streaks. This is what any franchise dreams about. If this was the Dodgers we were talking about, if this was the Phillies, if this was, one of those teams, we're talking about, easy World Series favorites, easy, fantastic. The Brewers aren't even World Series favorites right now, still in when you look at betting odds and stuff like that. So, again, hard to back the Brewers, but it really could be time to start backing them up. If we get to Monday and we're talking about the Brewers on a 15-game winning streak, it's definitely time to back the Brewers. But let's jump into some other division races right now, because baseball has been heating up in terms of the risers and fallers at the top of the league here. Let's go back 1 month ago. We're going back to July, mid-July. You know who's leading the AL East? The Yankees. You know who's leading the NL Central? The Cubs. You know who leads the NL East? The Mets. These are teams that have been very good. You talk about it now. AL East, it's the Blue Jays. NL Central, obviously the Brewers. NL West, how about the San Diego Padres? They swept the Giants. The Angels helped them out by sweeping the Dodgers. They entered the week 2 games back of them. And now here they are, 1 game ahead of them. And oh, by the way, not to get ahead of myself, they play this weekend. Oh my God, how can you not love baseball? This is lining up perfectly. And this could be a big, big series. I mean, at the end of the series, we could be talking about these teams are tied once again. We could be talking about how the Dodgers dismantled the Padres and have a 2-game series lead again. Or we could be talking about how the Padres now have a 4-game lead over the Dodgers. A lot is at stake right now. The Dodgers have had sole possession since June 14th and now finding themselves in second. The Padres were last atop when they were tied with the Dodgers on May 10th. And the last time they had the division alone to themselves was April 25th. We are now in August 15th. It had been a long time coming, but here are the Padres. And again, Astros and Tigers a month ago, they still had the division. At some point this week, the Mariners and Astros were tied. The Astros have had sole possession since June 3rd. The Astros and Mariners were tied for a day this week. Now it is back to the Astros, still a game and a half, but I mean, that's a big division race right there, a game and a half back. You look at the West, obviously a game back for the Padres and Dodgers. And then the rest is like, it feels like it should be closer, but the Brewers have an 8-game lead because they've been phenomenal. The Phillies now have a 5-game lead because the Mets have been atrocious. And I mean, you go back, 2 weeks ago, or if you even want to go back to the month ago, the Tigers had like a 14, 15-game lead over the Guardians. That's now down to 6.5, which again is still a pretty good lead to have at this point in the season. But in the span of a month, you lost 10 games. We still have over a month to go. You can easily lose another 10 games and then find yourselves 4.5 games back of the Guardians, right? So, I mean, that division race kind of heats up. The Blue Jays have been kind of locked in a little bit. The Red Sox, they've been about 500 recently, 5-5 in their last 10. That's a 5-game lead right there. And the Yankees, 6.5, they're still kind of in the race here. So, I mean, there are some division races that feel wide open, and then some that are really like massive games back. Like the Mets are 5 games back. Are we ruling out the Mets already? Like, I don't know where we're at in that point, but right now when I look at the division races, I don't know who's going to win which divisions. The Mariners could easily overtake the Astros. Heck, the Cubs could still find a way to battle back against the Brewers. Like, there is a lot still at stake, and again, 40 some odd games left to go here. Anything is really possible here, but since I did mention it, I kind of want to talk about the Mets really quickly because they've been slumping and slumping in a big way. They have lost 11 of 12. The New York Mets are Metsing. It's been a while since I've been able to use that phrase. The Mets are Metsing, and it's been really bad brands of baseball. And it's been a while since they've done this. The Mets were solid. They had a great start to the year. They were fighting the Phillies. It was going to be close to the end. I mean, you just lost 2 of 3 to the Braves. You run into the Brewers when they're hot. You got swept by the Guardians. You lost 2 of 3 to the Giants, who have been out. And then you got swept by the Padres. So, I mean, we go back to the end of July here. That's 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 losses when you've only been able to win 2 games. 2 and 13 in your last 15 games is not what you've got. You have a series against the Mariners coming up, and they've been playing hot. They're trying to catch Houston. Then you get a series against the Nats. You go back to the Braves. And then, by the way, a 3-game series against Philly. I remember, 2 weeks ago, we were talking about how this 3-game series could decide the NL East. The Mets have ruined that almost. They've been really bad. And when you look at the standings, I mean, you see the Mets 5 games out. Click on the wild card tab because guess what? They're half a game up on the Reds. The Cincinnati Reds right now on Friday, everyone plays today. If the Mets lose and the Reds win, the Reds will be in a playoff spot. Like, the Mets' downfall right now needs to be studied. They need to kick it into gear right now. They are losing everything that they have built this season for. And, again, I never believed in them from the start of the season. And then they broke out playing the way they did, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I was wrong. The Mets are here, ready for them in the postseason. Here we sit, 40 games outside of the playoffs from postseason beginning, and it's like, was I right the whole time? Were they just pulling a blinder on me? Like, what are we doing right now? And again, you go look at September, they have a series against Detroit. They have a series against the Padres. They have a series against the Cubs. They have a 4-game series against Philly. This 4-game series should be must-watch baseball. The Mets need to pull it together now. And I mean, if it's not happening now, then it's not going to happen. So the Mets, they got to celebrate this week, I guess, because Pete Alonso set the Mets franchise record for the most home runs with 253. I mean, that's good for Pete Alonso here, and good for the Mets in general. Like, Pete Alonso has been a kind of that Mets staple. He's been an iconic piece to the Mets since he came up, and most home runs from a rookie and all this stuff. I mean, it's a huge milestone, but again, the Mets didn't really want him in free agency. We had to wait a long time for Alonso to re-sign. He could still opt out. He's going to go down as one of the great Mets of all time, with the home run record. But even that home run record, 253 home runs. I know players who have a lot more than that, and teams that have a lot more than like 400 home runs from multiple guys. To say the Mets franchise record's 253 seemed small considering their history, but at the same time, it's like, does any of that really matter when you're 12? When you're 2-13 in your last 15 games? Like, it's time to go, and it's time to go like today. The Mets need to start a 5-game winning streak immediately because they are really Metsing up their season. I like to go on Urban Dictionary, just see people who use the word Metsing in their definitions because it's hilarious to me. They need to turn the page right now, because if not, they're going to find themselves in a tricky situation come the end of the season. Speaking of situations that I find tricky, the Nationals DFA'd Nathaniel Lowe this week, and this is actually yesterday that it happened. Nathaniel Lowe hit a grand slam to help the Nats beat the Royals, avoid the sweep. But I guess that grand slam wasn't enough to save his job. They traded for him at the start of the season here. He'd be coming off 4 nice years in Texas after kind of making a name for himself with Tampa Bay. He won a Silver Slugger and a Gold Glove in his time with Texas and had a couple of nice moments, including a great 2022 season. That was the year he was the Silver Slugger winner with 27 home runs and an .851 OPS. The Nats traded for him, thinking he's going to be a nice club control guy. He would have 2 years on his deal, on his contract of club control. And then this year has been kind of an abysmal year. Played 119 games, a negative 0.4 WAR, has 95 hits in 440 at-bats, a .216 batting average, and a .665 OPS, only 16 home runs. Of course, that 16th home run was the grand slam. It was only his 3rd hit of the month. So, tricky stuff there. DFA'd. He has over 5 years of service time, though, so what will most likely happen is the waivers will go through. No one will want him because who wants to pay a guy $2-something million to be a nuisance in a lineup? So they will get a chance to outright him to the minors. Nathaniel Lowe thinks it's one bad year. He will bet on himself. He will go to free agency, and he will probably sign with a new team over the winter. So it's safe to say that Nathaniel Lowe's season is most likely over. I don't see him going to AAA for the Nats, but we will see how that works. And from there, that's it. So tough break there for the Nats. They traded for a guy thinking he was going to be a nice option for 2 or 3 years, and ends up having to DFA him early here. So that's where we're at with the National season, which has kind of gone off the rails at times. But we know they weren't going to be anything competitive this year, but they've got some nice pieces, and maybe will be next year. Moving on here, let's talk about Player Weekend, because it is Player Weekend. Everybody loves Player Weekend, right? Well, wrong. I'm still not the biggest fan of it. I do love that players get to express themselves in their cleats, in their batting gear, in their bats, in their et cetera, et cetera. But to me, Player Weekend was those special jerseys, those really cool, colorful jerseys with the nicknames on the backs. That's what made the Players Weekend really stand out when it was first brought, when it first happened. And with those nicknames, it was really memorable and really fun. And then in those 2 or 3 years, I think they had them, 2016 to 18 were the years, was just great. And again, they brought it back the last couple of seasons. They got rid of it, obviously during COVID, end of 19, I'm pretty sure as well. And now we're still kind of waiting for it properly. I think they have to go back to the nicknames. The fans cry for it. They want it. It's very exciting. And they get a lot of player jerseys sold during that time. Those jerseys, I still see people walking around with them, wherever I see them. But it's it really was special to have the nicknames on the back. I don't know what kind of like things MLB looks at when deciding like, oh, let's not do the nicknames. If it's something that's like, oh, they think it's bad for the game or whatever. I disagree completely. Have some speculations over what can be said and what can be used as nicknames, like maybe have the league review them or something. But I think the nicknames were the best part about Players Weekend. Still fun for the players. It's still exciting, but I think they also would rather have the nicknames back. So hopefully next year, fingers crossed, we'll get the nicknames back. But until then, it's just baseball as usual. Same jerseys, just different gear, colorful stuff, and more expressive for the players. So that's what we get for Players Weekend. Moving on here, let's talk injury updates. Michael King from the Padres lands on the 15-day IL with knee inflammation. Not great there for the Padres. Miguel Amaya had just come back from the injured list, played one game and sprained his ankle. He's back on the 10-day IL. His fall was nasty. Kind of a brutal thing to see in person. O'Neal Cruz from the Pirates, 7-day IL with a concussion. Adolis Garcia from the Texas Rangers, 10-day IL, a sprained ankle for him. Dodgers losing Brock Stewart on the 15-day IL with shoulder inflammation. And the Astros kind of have a big blow here. Josh Hader will find himself on the 15-day IL with a strained shoulder, depending on how long that lasts. The Astros bullpen takes a hit here, and that maybe benefits Seattle a little bit. So that's something to keep an eye out for here as we see how Hader's injury will progress here. Moving on here, we have our outstanding performances. Christian Javier made his first start since May 21st, 2024. And besides the home run to Bregman, it was very solid. 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, the home run, 2 walks in 5K. So welcome back, Javier, and that might be a big upgrade for the Astros. George Kirby, 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 7 Ks. How about Dean Creamer? Despite the loss, went 8 innings, 5 hits, the earned run, the only run in that game, a walk, and 6 Ks. Trevor Rogers has been brilliant for Baltimore. 7 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, no walks, and 6 Ks. If he's able to break it into the qualified pitchers and qualified stats, his ERA right now is like 1.4 or something. He's been brilliant. Carlos Rodon from the Yankees, 7 innings, a hit, an earned run, 2 walks, and 5 Ks. Brady Singer from the Reds, 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 6 Ks. Cade Horton for the Cubs has been very solid recently. 5 2/3, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. He was brutal for the Blue Jays. Freddie Peralta, 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 7 Ks. Jacob Lopez from the A's, 7 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 9 strikeouts. Hunter Green back from the IL, went 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 6 Ks. The Reds getting some upgrades. Troy Melton, 5 innings, only 1 hit, no runs, no walks, and 6 Ks. How about this pitcher's duel? Max Scherzer versus Matthew Boyd. Scherzer, 7 innings, 5 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 3 Ks. Matthew Boyd, 7 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, and 5 Ks. And then Joe Ryan against the Yankees, 6 2/3, 4 hits, only the 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 7 Ks for your outstanding performances. Now it's time for the stat leaderboard. Who is leading in what stats here going forward? Of course, Aaron Judge still leading in average, now at 3.33, so it continues to drop a little bit. Bo Bichette still leading the league in hits with 148. Cal Raleigh hit 3 home runs this past week, so he's up to 45 big flies on the year. And for the 4th straight week, a whole month of a different guy in the RBI slot was Suarez, was Raleigh, was Schwarber. Now it's Pete Alonso with 99 RBI. So it's safe to say that next week we'll have a 100th RBI guy on the season. Shohei leading the league in runs, still 115, had 9 runs scored this week, and the Dodgers continue to slump. Soto leads the league in walks, 92. Stolen bases, Jose Caballero. How about Jose Ramirez? Both of them are tied with 35. Jose Ramirez, come on, all the speedy guys in the league, and this is the guy that leads the league tied with him. He's about to have a 30-30 season. He needs 5 home runs for that. OPS, Aaron Judge, 1.131, of course, still leads that. Freddie Peralta is back to leading the league in wins alone. He's got 14 on the season. Paul Skeens, despite giving up 4 earned runs against the Brewers in an eventual 14-0 win, he still leads the league in ERA, 2.13. That's how good Skeens has been. New strikeout guy, Mackenzie Gore for the longest time. Then it's been Garrett Crochet recently. Enter Tarek Skubal, Triple Crown winner last year, 190 Ks, now leads the league. And then Robert Suarez with the Padres, still leading the league in saves with 33. Big time efforts for him, and they're going to need him big time this coming week with a series against the Dodgers. And speaking of the upcoming week, let's look at the upcoming series for the weekend here. Marlins in Boston to take on the Red Sox. Texas is up north taking on the Blue Jays. Braves at Guardians. White Sox at Royals. The Tigers and Twins play a 4-game set. We got an orange battle. The Oilers at the Astros. Angels at A's, Mariners at Mets. That's a big series kind of for the Mets. They got to get, lock in. And the Mariners, of course, need to stay in tune with the Astros. Phillies and Nationals play a 4-game set. Pirates at Cubs. Good chance for the Cubs to bounce back after a series loss to the Blue Jays. Brewers at Reds. Reds looking to stay hot and the Brewers winning streak. Brewers looking to stay hot and get it to 15 if they can sweep. Yankees at Cardinals. Padres at Dodgers, of course, that's the big one. D-backs and Rockies will play a 4-game set, and we end it with the Rays and the Giants. Those are the upcoming series. Let's take a look at the series highlight, and you'd be dumb if you think it'd be any other game than the Padres and the Dodgers. They have a 3-game set coming up. San Diego on a 5-game winning streak. The Dodgers on a 4-game losing streak. The Dodgers find themselves 1 game back of the Padres for the NL West. This 3-game series is huge, and unfortunately, it's littered with a bunch of TBDs. All we know for sure is that Clayton Kershaw will be pitching Game 1 against the Padres today. A 6-2 record, a 3.14 ERA. The Padres are TBD for Games 1, 2, and 3. The Dodgers are TBD for Games 2 and 3, so who knows who's starting? Well, it's safe to say that in Game 2, it will most likely be Dylan Cease for the Padres versus Blake Snell for the Dodgers. Dylan Cease 5-10 with a 4.52 ERA. He's had a really rough season. And then Blake Snell, 2-1 record, a 2.37 ERA. For Game 3, it will most likely be Yu Darvish, who is a 2-3 record with a 5.61 ERA, versus Tyler Glasnow, who is 1-1 with a 3.08 ERA. Of course, that's just speculation going back to, how the rotations have been set up for the Padres and Dodgers recently. And for the Padres for Game 1 for today, I'm not sure it's been announced. I will double check really quickly. But this was supposed to be Michael King's spot in the rotation. Of course, he got hurt. The guy that got called up to make that replacement was Randy Vasquez, who, again, if he's making the start today, has a 3-5 record, a 3.93 ERA. He's been pretty solid when he's been in the league. Of course, he's been up and down to AAA and majors a bunch. But right now, if I was a betting man, if I was going to guess what, of the history and the research that I've done for the Padres, it's Randy Vasquez, Dylan Cease, and Yu Darvish. And for the Dodgers, of course, it's going to be Clayton Kershaw today. But for Saturday and Sunday, expect Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow. And these 3 games, of course, must-watch baseball. Absolutely must-watch baseball. This brings us to our playoff predictor. If the season ended today, who is taking it home? And the wildcard races are heating up. Outside of things, Guardians, half a game out of the Yankees. Reds, half a game out of the Mets. The New York teams are in trouble right now. If the season ended today, though, the Yankees are still in a playoff spot as well as the Mets. The Yankees would go to Houston. The Red Sox in the 5 seed taking on the Mariners in the 4 seed. Astros beat the Yankees. Mariners beat the Red Sox. So the ALDS matchup would have the Astros and the Tigers, rematch from last year. Mariners and Blue Jays. The Mariners would beat the Blue Jays. The Astros beat the Tigers. They get some revenge there. So our ALCS matchup was an AL West matchup. Mariners at Astros. That's a good one. And Seattle beats the Astros. They've been playing great brand of baseball recently. On the NL side, the Mets in the 6 seed taking on the Padres in the 3 seed. Dodgers in the 5 seed taking on the Cubs in the 4 seed. Padres beat the Mets. Cubs beat the Dodgers. In the NLDS matchup, Padres at Phillies. Cubs at Brewers. Padres beat the Phillies. Brewers beat the Cubs. Padres at Brewers is your NLCS matchup. And it is the Padres that beat the Brewers. So that means our World Series matchup is the Mariners and the Padres. And it is the Seattle Mariners that would be your 2025 World Series champions if the season ended today. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for our episode here today. The season is heating up. Division races are on full display. We've got a big series this weekend. Stay tuned for that and a bunch more. I appreciate you all. Thank you, everybody, so much. And I will see you on Monday.